everybody. I hope you are safe and well. Welcome to the Zen Zone. I created this channel to be a safe space to discover things that may help cultivate more Zen in your day, things that I feel intuitively led to share, struggles of my own and other people around me that I know may be going through some things. So take what resonates, and if any of this gets too lengthy, I can be long-winded. Just know that whatever bit you decide to listen to will help you hopefully in your day, and you'll receive whatever you needed to hear that day. And if you don't like any of what you hear or my style or who I am, then you have free will. You may just hop off, and no harm, no foul. You do you. I'm here to just share with people that are willing to listen and like to find ways to cultivate more Zen and raise their awareness of their own experience so they can have more growth and transformation. So apparently there's a lot of changes going on cosmically. I'm not super knowledgeable in that. I'm very fascinated by the stars and the moon and like the energies that get created, things like that. And there is a new super new moon coming October 16th, which is right around the corner. And some of you may be sensitive to the cosmic shifts and you didn't maybe know that and can feel that really strongly, or some people can even feel it a few days before it even happens. That is what happens with me, and it also, those energies can actually also last a few days after as well. So if you're feeling some tensions in the air, know that that could be some of what's going on. But with each planetary shift, there is like energetically something divinely designed to raise in our consciousness. And so apparently there's like a divide between the higher states of consciousness and the lower states of consciousness. Like the lower states are just like our human experience, the pain, the suffering, fear-based energies, things like that that we may feel as humans, and that can separate us from like our divine self, like who we are created at a soul level. So like our 3D reality is like our body, our 4D is like our mind and our emotions, and 5D and above is like those higher states of consciousness. So some of these energies are kind of heavy because they're really asking us to illuminate. It's really illuminating areas in ourselves where we may need to see where we become out of alignment, and where something might need to be harmonized in your mind or your life so you can get on with doing more things centered in peace and love and things like that. So I call that doing your divinity, because doing the things of divine, like divine is just love and peace. There's like nothingness but that. And anytime we feel fear or anxiety or worry or stress, like we are forgetting or negating some of who we are at a soul level. So some people really struggle getting out of their 3D reality and really just make all their decisions based on what they're experiencing on their physical level. They don't take the time to think about their thoughts or their feelings, or they only think about their thoughts and feelings, which is again on the 5D, and they make all their decisions based on what they're feeling in that moment. And they can be very reactive, and a lot of those feelings and emotions and fear-based things, like human things, are anger and jealousy and hate and like fear and worry, and they make all their decisions based on that. You may know people like that. It kind of ties into a little bit of my video yesterday on toxic relationships. And toxic relationships, I don't want to talk about that, but happen kind of because one or both of the partners don't want to address their higher states of consciousness. They don't really want to address their core wounds or needs, and they just want to blame everyone else and stay in that 3D, 4D thing. And when you start to really become aware of why you feel anxious or worried or afraid or stressed, and you drop into that and drop into your heart and like really feel those things and ask yourself why, and get to the root of that, you can help harmonize like and balance all that out. So I was feeling a lot of anxiety last night, like just, and it came on really, I shouldn't say came on, the anxiety came on really fast and really took me by surprise until I started to like, whoa, what's going on here? I mean, it was so much that I was like so anxious that I was like, I haven't felt that in a long time, because I've really worked hard at balancing a lot of my anxiety issues and depression and my worry and like all that stuff, and really kind of normally exist in like just the at zero point where there's like just peace and harmony. And then when something happens or something comes up that is like really out of whack for me, it's very significant. It's kind of like they say, like when people have food allergies, if they're constantly eating a food that it makes their body sensitive, they may experience symptoms and stuff like that. But if they decided to go clean and like cut that thing out, and a long time goes by, and then all of a sudden they eat that food again after like 6 months, their body will have a really, really strong reaction, because they're like, before when they're eating it every day, their like cortisol levels, their stress hormones were constantly firing off to kind of protect their body from that substance from really doing harm. And then when you took it away and you're kind of like, okay, their body's like, okay, we can breathe, that's not attacking us anymore. And so then there's not that protective barrier. And then when all of a sudden you introduce it again, it's like, whoa, we were not ready for that. Holy smokes, like what's happening? And all the signals like fire off really fast, and you can feel really extreme. Maybe like even people that, were clean with addiction issues and stuff like that, and then started up again. That might, I don't know enough about that, but that could be also what happens. Your body is not protected with those stress hormones like they were in the past. So I think that might have been happening last night with me, because I was like so anxious, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I couldn't concentrate on anything. I had planned on just chilling and watching a movie and like forgetting all my work. I've been overworking, not sleeping well, and then it was like so much so that I like knocked over my drink and had to like vacuum it up. Then like all my stuff was falling over, like my phone died. I didn't even realize it was not getting charged. It was like a lot of things were happening, and I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on with me? And so I had to really like stop and clean up all those messes, but then think, what is going on? And I realized like, wow, I've allowed myself over the last few days to really get consumed with worry for the future and dwelling on the past. And I didn't realize it. And so much so that like I was feeling physical symptoms of stress and like certain things in my body that are normal, like flare-ups for me, my back, and I actually have like some nerve damage, from some things that happened to me that kind of were flaring up last night. And I even this morning, like having pain walking with one of my feet, like on my toes. I don't know, it's like too much TMI, but like it was amazing. Like, oh my gosh, I really allowed myself to get kind of out of whack these last few days, and that's not getting proper sleep and taking care of myself. So the theme is, when in doubt, choose love. And I'm going to direct that as choosing love for yourself. Like when you are in that moment and you're feeling that, you can do the whole Pono energetic shift, which is like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Like that, whatever I'm feeling anxiety about. I mean, I'm not afraid of anxiety. I actually really, really appreciate when I'm anxious, because it really helps like shine the light on my life, like what's going on, that for me to really assess. Like normally maybe I'm not paying attention always to that. So wow, whatever I'm feeling, that worry, that stress, that fear, whatever, that is not who I am at soul level. Please, like just forgiving myself for feeling that, asking God and divine universe, higher spirit, whatever you want to say, to like take that and release that burden, and forgive me for getting out of whack and forgetting who I am, and that I'm love and peace and all that great jazz. And then saying, I love you back. I love you to yourself and to divine, for showing the light on where you are out of alignment. So, where we may have struggled, obviously, is what I'm saying, surrendering fear. So I'd like to do kind of past, present, future. Let go of the fearful stories you are telling yourself. Stay in the moment, focus on solutions, and celebrate every baby step forward. So a lot of times anxiety is really fear of the future. When we are anxious, they say like when you're anxious, you're worrying so much about the future, and depression is like reminiscing about the past and worrying about the past. And so many of us sometimes do that, very easily can get caught up on worrying about the future and planning for the future. And we forget to just drop in this moment and be still in this moment and take action and do what you need to do in that moment to feel less anxious or feel less depressed, or like what is your soul calling you to do in that moment, and trying to really drop into being the moment. Because when you can do that, and ask yourself what it is you need. If like you've gotten out of whack and you haven't done any physical activity in your body, those stress hormones don't really leave your body until you move. So maybe you've gotten out of whack with that because it's getting colder and you haven't taken your walks, or whatever it is, you can kind of stay in the moment and focus on the solutions and celebrate every baby step forward. Maybe you're somebody that needs to connect to music, or whatever your passions are. Maybe you normally used to journal all your feelings out and you've stopped doing that. Maybe you've stopped getting out in nature because the weather shift, and like maybe instead of being outside you can just start having more plants in the house or something like that. Or if you like music but every song on the radio makes you think of feeling lonely, then switch your style of music, healing music or something like that. So like focus on what solutions are in this moment that can help shift that energy, because every time you bring awareness to your thoughts, it actually changes you. And some of that can result in unrest, because every time you raise your state of consciousness a little higher and you grow and you transform, kind of think about a caterpillar to a butterfly, you kind of raise your vibe. And that when they say that vibe, that's what it is, really your higher states of consciousness with yourself. And it's really normal actually to have a sense of confusion and dislocation when you do that in your career and your family and things like you normally were just, like I said, like constants for you. But it can also shine the light that, wow, as you grow and change, the material 3D things that you used to really cling to or that you had emotional attachments to can kind of fall away. And that can be unsettling because your old life is kind of falling away and your new one's, kind of guiding you to a new one. That can be unsettling too. So these cosmic changes, like a lot of this is very normal. It's normal to be feeling those uneasiness as you head into new awarenesses of yourself. But as you do that and you drop like those emotional attachments to like money and people even around you and your work and things like that, of like tangible things, you come to realize just how important you really are in the grand scheme of things. Like your contributions matter, like who you are at a soul level and who you are as a person, your gifts, your talents, and it's a big deal because your growth and transformation doesn't really happen in the body. It happens in the mind and the soul. And so we can ask ourselves, like, what are the dominant emotions that run my life? How do you feel your day? Stress or joy, trust or anger, anxiety or peace? We have only today, right now, the journey. No goal, no destination will bring us the feeling we seek. But when we begin feeling every day with that which we value most, we will attract more of it. This is fulfillment. Lean into what you want to feel and adjust your life, your values, and your expectations to match your desires. What do you want to feel? Are you willing to let go of the belief that you have to achieve something to feel it? So definitely, in that moment, you can think like, well, what do I want to try? I have a power struggle with one of my children and 13-year-old, so I know a lot of it's normal, as I'm being told, which does provide me comfort. But a lot of times I'm like, whoa, okay, it's really important to stop blaming everyone else for what we're feeling and really ask ourselves, what do I want to create right now? Do I want to create calm in my life or chaos? Like, if I do this, is it going to create more chaos? If I hang out with that friend, if I take that job, like creating more calm or chaos? And every moment we have to decide that, like, what do we need to do, or what do we not need to let go of, or what do we need to focus on to bring more calm instead of fear? And sometimes, like, one thing I don't like is that, are you willing to let go of the belief that you have to achieve something to feel it? I struggle with that because I really believe, like, we can't just keep wishing and imagining for a better future. And when we continue to keep just like daydreaming about what we want our life to be, I think that's kind of dangerous because we're not really actually doing our like divinity here in the 3D reality. We're focusing on like an arterial world, like alternative world of that's not even really, I'm not going to say it's not real because your thoughts and your dreams are really real, but like, what can you do today to get closer to that is what I'm saying. Like, you continue to just keep believing only in the things you want and not taking the conscious action that you're being guided to take. I really feel like that's not dangerous, but that's an illusion as well. So these rebel cards are so funny, but what else we can do in the present moment? Get the F out of your head. Get in your heart. It misses you. Like, really, our mind and our ego just really trips us up sometimes. Like, with the worry and anxious, like, what is your heart calling you to do? Or not do? Or feel? Or not feel? Or let go of? Stop obsessing. You are not the effing center of the universe. Like, in the grand scheme of things, like, oh my gosh, what are you freaking out about? It's probably really not that big a deal. If you look back at other times in your life, you were really worried. Did it all work out? Yeah, it probably did. And you know what? You're not the center of the universe. I mean, it may feel like that because it's your universe you're trying to create, but God, so many people have it way worse and a lot of people have it better, but like, is it really that terrifying, whatever it is that's making you so anxious? Is it really life or death? Is life or death as you're making it seem like? I mean, a lot of times it's not. And like, this one's really funny. Stop effing whining. No one wants to listen to that shit. Complaining makes you weak. You have the strength to change your world, so do it. It's like the truth of the matter. It's like, what am I so worried about? Like, seriously. And like those anxious thoughts, it's because you're worried about things that may or may not happen. That's just fear. What do they say? False evidence appearing real. Like, you have no idea how things could go if you take that action or not. You just need to take that action or let that thing go. Like, you don't know what's going to happen necessarily, but that's okay. Your job is not to pave the path, but to simply keep facing your true north. And in the spiritual realm, there's something called the true north. I don't really know exactly about that, but like just following what you know to be true for you is basically. So take one step after another. If you do this, you can't go wrong if you just keep following that one day at a time, and stop worrying so much whether it could fail, what they may say, how that may make you look, what people are going to think about you. Like, just focus on the moment. And like the anxiousness, like anxiety's gotten such a bad rap, but I really have come to really appreciate it because it's like my guiding star of like, think about the Bible, the North Star, like the wise men following to Jesus. Like, your soul is how your intuition is how your soul speaks to you. So that's your true north, like following that day to day. And energy doesn't lie, you know, and some things are going to make you feel just like so exhausted and drained and worried when you think about that, or it may light you up. If you think about like actually achieving that goal, does that light you up to obtain that, or does it make you like, oh my God, dread that? So if that's what you're going towards, it's probably not the right thing for you. If it's not like something that makes you happy and excited and brings you joy, chances are you're not going in your true north. Okay, don't waver or doubt. Use your heart as a compass and put one foot in front of the other. Like I was saying, follow the invisible trail of what lights you up. That's exactly what I was just saying. So transformation. You have the power of love to move through illusions and shift into awareness. That's exactly what I was saying. Being aware raises your vibe and it transforms you. And as you grow and change, it's okay if there's a little unrest around you, if like, okay, no longer like relationships and friendships change. Think back to when you were a kid. Did you have all the same relationships you still had with people in middle school? Maybe you have some really, really good, solid ones from high school, but like, was it okay for you to like let those friends go and move on to a new group of friends? And was everybody okay in the end? Everybody was fine. Okay, it all worked out in the end. So just trust that it will happen to you now. I know that's a very juvenile example, but the divine physician, Archangel Raphael. Thank you, Raphael, for shining your divine light on my healthy body. So this is kind of interesting because like I was talking about how like your body is really a reflection also of your mind and soul. Like your mind just determines what state your body is in, right? If you think healing and positive thoughts, I mean, you need to be real too, but if you think healing, like thank you for my healing, thank you for being with me and giving me a healthy body. There's plenty of studies out there about people, you know, dropping out all the stress in their life and really being with people that make them happy and laughing and watching funny shows and like avoiding anything that puts them in worry or state in fear and dropping into joy and laughter and love. It actually can heal people. There's a study, lots of studies done about this. I was just reading an amazing article about a lady who had cancer. I mean, I'm not saying that this should be the only thing, but I'm just saying it is really the power of your mind and what you believe about yourself really does have a lot of healing abilities. Then like if you can just say thank you for my healing and like positive thoughts and like really the stress, just the stress, what it does to your body, and it can really exacerbate health issues that we have. And I mean, I had my foot thing, my nerve pain thing, and like I didn't make the connection until it kind of was happening, like wow, stress and worrying about the future and being depressed about the past. I had been kind of looping through some of those feelings, some healing still that was kind of coming up for me recently, and worrying about like things I want in my future that aren't here yet, that like I have anxiousness towards. Like I kind of got off the beaten track with that and got kind of out of control, I guess, with myself. I didn't realize, and then wow, I have all these physical symptoms now getting kind of like flaring up. So Raphael means God heals. So, in those moments where shining the divine light on your healthy body, you know, physical symptoms, worry, stress, not getting good sleep, like those are all like examples of when you may, you know, and if you're numbing out with alcohol and other things to kind of avoid addressing those issues, you're gonna end up being more unhealthy and it's gonna catch up with you. It's really, really best to just be aware and drop in to that awareness and really ask yourself, why am I feeling anxious? Why am I feeling bummed out? Why am I worrying about that? What is it? What's going on? Like, why do I really believe that? What do I need right now? What do I need right now? And sometimes when we're blaming someone else, like for our problems, we can really say, like, there's like a mirror exercise that I learned. You ask, if you're like, I'm mad that that person's not doing this, you can say, okay, where am I not giving myself that? If I'm like mad that that person's not showing up for me in this way, like where am I not showing up for myself in that? And what do I need right now? And then you can say, is that true? Am I actually not showing up for myself? Like, yeah, it usually is. And then what do I need to give myself that? Because it's really about that first card I was saying, like, when in doubt, choose love. What can it, you know, just to stop looking to get all that from everyone else and bring it into your own reality and be in the moment. And just know that in that moment, you need to breathe. Everything is happening exactly as it should be. You're right where you're meant to be, that you're resilient. If your mood wavers, it doesn't stay that way permanently. I allow myself to feel my feelings until I can refocus my thoughts on the positive. I do not judge myself for being human. I am resilient. Yeah, just think back to other times where you're anxious as well and worried and everything turned out okay. Everything works out in the end. It's going to be okay. You're safe and well. Trust your path. These cards are so beautiful. I'm going to actually read from the book and then be done because I'm already at 22 minutes. Oh my God, I thought this was going to be short. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? If you knew you would be supported, you are supported. You are supported. You've always been. What are you so worried about? It's all going to be fine. And maybe you're worried because you know you really haven't taken the action that you need. And you got a little guilt there. You know that you need to take a step and you're not. And you're cycling through anxiety because you're not doing that. It's not going to go away until you take the step. So in that moment, what step can you take? What baby step can you take, right? What did it say? Put one foot in front of the other. Follow the invisible trail of what lights you up. Trust your path. The universe is conspiring. Keep facing your true north. Your job is not to pave true north. What did I just say? Your job is not to pave the path, but to simply keep facing your true north and take one step after another. Oh, I did that already. Okay. The universe is conspiring. Don't waver or doubt. Most people don't follow the highest call of their soul because they're waiting to see the end destination before they take the first step. If you take one baby step each day, within a year, you will have taken 365 steps in your dedicated direction. If you want to write a book, write a page every day. If you want to change careers, do one thing every day in dedication to that. Before you know it, in just a year from now, you will turn back and look in awe at how far you've journeyed. Keep moving and open yourself up to a whole new level of support and receiving. Things are not going to work out the way you are planning. That's weird. Okay, but if you have a little faith and keep showing up, they will work out even better than you could possibly imagine. Don't micromanage the universe. Trust your path and let your soul lead the way. Wow, okay. So sometimes we resist. Like we want to control everything. We want to control the outcome. We want to control how everything goes. And honestly, it's like if you don't humble yourself, life's going to do it for you. And if your life's falling apart left and right, and like it's probably because you're being really controlling and trying to micromanage the universe, and you really just are being asked to trust, to surrender and trust in every moment, and to listen to your inner voice and your intuition, and bring awareness to the areas that are making you worried or afraid or depressed or sad or lonely or angry, and do something in that moment. Take action. You can't just be always imagining a better life and like daydreaming about that. I really feel like that's dangerous. I mean, a lot of the laws of the universe stuff is like, or law of attraction stuff is like to think about what you want. And I really believe that's important. But a lot of times we are also giving guidance, intuitive guidance with that desire of what action we need to take in that moment to get us closer to that. Or maybe there's a solution to the problem that we're not aware of that will come to our mind if we actually drop into being aware of what we can do in that moment. Because you can just really stay stagnant, and those stress energies need to be released somehow, either taking action or like, stress hormones don't leave your body unless you're moving your body. And it's not just, okay, well, I'm so stressed out about this, I'm gonna go work out, because after that workout, that stress will still be there if you were supposed to take action towards something. But sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just nervous energy that can be really subdued, but there's still maybe guidance that you're receiving that is asking you to do something as well. Like, we can't just keep imagining a new life. We have to do as well. There's a kind of, I saw something that yesterday was like, faith without action is, I don't know, it was like something about faith without action. You can't just believe. You have to believe. You definitely have to believe, but you have to have, it's like, we have to realize we are the powerful creators of our universe. We have to do our divinity. We have to do. And I struggle with that because sometimes I want to be lazy, probably. I don't know what it is sometimes, but it's like it's kind of scary to know that you're like 100% responsible. Because you no longer really have an excuse as to why something's not working out, and that's kind of scary, but it's also really empowering, because we've probably been, a lot of us can feel really disempowered by the people around us, the choices that other people make, and if you lived so long like that in like kind of like the victim mode, like, it can be really hard to like be the creator of your experience. But it's really important for all of us to realize that we do have a choice every moment to stay anxious, to create calm or chaos, and take action towards what will bring us more calm or chaos. So I hope that was helpful. I'm going to stop rambling. But yeah, huge wake up call for me as I experienced heavy anxiety yesterday, and it makes sense that there's something going on cosmically. I'm very affected by that stuff, but it also is just really good to like not be so afraid of your anxious thoughts, like to really just get to know yourself better, why you're feeling those things, and bring awareness to those areas so you can raise your vibe. And as you raise your vibe, you're going to continue to attract more higher vibe things, which is really ultimately best for you as you transform and grow. A lot of people like to stay where they are, and that other people makes them feel really stuck, not to have the power over their own life and their own choices. So just know that as you do that new shift, like, it may be really clear, like, who around you is not wanting to grow and change and transform, and that's okay. Everybody's on their path, and it's not necessarily good or bad. It's just everybody's vibing at a different rate, and that's okay. Just continue to stay in your own light and follow the light illuminating your own individual path, and you will get where you need to go. And you don't need to be anxious about it. You are supported, and everything's going to be okay. You're right where you need to be. Okay, have a great day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.